Up in a disarray, and that's our special show this evening. I'm Supriya, Shrinate. In developments that happened earlier today, it's a win situation as far as Kumar Vishwas is concerned. Has been made in charge of Rajasthan at the end of infighting within the Aam Aadmi party. But many people are asking the question, is this an uneasy truce? And more importantly, is the infighting within the Aam Aadmi party going to cost it rather dearly? To discuss all of that and a lot more, we joined by a consulting editor of the Times of India, Sagarika, Ghose, editorial director of the New Indian Express Group, Mr. Prabhu Chawla, and of course the leader of the Swaraj Abhiyan, Yogendra Yadav, and somebody who was associated previously with the Aam Aadmi party. Thanks each one of you for being with us, and it's such a pleasure to be talking to you this evening. The reason why we're doing this show, and just for the benefit of our viewers here, is we're not mocking the Aam Aadmi party. We're not saying that they're disgruntled bunch of people, but they were seemingly a credible opposition, and they seem to be falling apart, falling at seams, and which is why the question. So it's an easy truce that seems today that has been carved over a cup of tea between Arvind Kejriwal and Kumar Vishwas, but not without the theatrics and the drama and everything else that played out yesterday, where it was almost imminent that Kumar Vishwas was going to quit, perhaps join the BJP, as was being alleged by Mr. Manatullah. But let's take this across to Yogendra Yadav. And Mr. Yadav, is this an uneasy truce in the Aam Aadmi party, and perhaps it's a facade over the huge bickering and the infighting within?
Look, I must say right away, I'm not a close observer of what's happening in Aam Aadmi party. I don't spend sleepless nights looking at what's happening here. To be absolutely honest, I'm sitting here in Chennai. We are beginning a yatra on the drought situation in Tamil Nadu, which matters far, far more to me than things that we are talking about. But I can simply say I'm neither a player nor an umpire. I'm one of the spectators, somewhat pained spectator, because the way in which the situation has developed has led to extinguishing of hope for many people. And a lot of Indians would have felt that what's happening here is no different than any other political party. So that's what matters to me. That's how I look at what's happening in Aam Aadmi party.
Fair point. Fair point indeed. You are a pained spectator, like a lot of us here are, and the reason why we are actually doing this show and asking you for your suggestions, your advice, your comments really is that AAP was being seen as a credible opposition, and it looks like they are falling apart, it seems. But Prabhu Chawla, come in on that. This public unity that one is witnessing in AAP today after the bitter infighting, is this just a charade? Is this just a cloak for the bitter infighting, the bickering within the Aam Aadmi party?
You see, Supriya, I must tell you one thing. AAP is a work in progress. It is not based on any ideology. It was an idea floated by a few individuals who had no political experience at all. They came into politics because of Anna Hazare. They joined a movement which was anti-corruption, and suddenly they became politically ambitious people, and they floated a party, and success was there waiting for them in Delhi. But this is the first time after many years, we have got about 50 parties floating in this country. Most of them have come up because of the regional consideration, caste consideration, communal consideration. Here was an experiment to emerge as a party which was based on clean politics, clean administration, अच्छी governance, अच्छी सरकार देने का वादा किया उन लोगों ने. They were ideal-driven individuals who got together but had no political experience, no experience of handling contradictions, no experience of handling egos of each other. Here was Kejriwal, who was always speaking in terms of replacing Modi, because he became as a leader, alternative leader for the national level, waiting in terms of waiting, leader in waiting. So that was a mistake they committed. Because of that, everybody became ambitious. If you look at the tone of various leaders, they never talk about local issues, they talk about national issues. You got a Delhi government, you are supposed to govern that, deliver something, and then jump from one staircase to another staircase. You can't jump all the stairs at one time. So I would still say it is a work in progress. They are fighting for certain crumbs of power. But if Kejriwal has to be believed, there is no personal charge against him. He is trying to put the team together because his work should have been spoken by now, but he is trying to speak through his words. Obsession with Modi, for example, and trying to project himself as a national leader, which others did not like. Everybody wants to run Goa, they want to run Goa, they want to run Punjab, somebody tried to go to Haryana and got defeated there, somebody is going somewhere else. So instead of the state which they have won, and people still trust them, in corporation election, they got a lot of votes. They may not have won the seats. They are still number 2 party there. The people have a faith in them. But instead of concentrating on governance, for which they don't have an experience of an idea to get everybody together. So what AAP is doing, they are just talking to each other like friends because they are of the same age. They have no political experience. Some are journalists, some are singers, actors, some are former retired officers, some are IIT people. There is no experience. So lack of political experience is reflecting there. And I don't think they have any capacity to build a national alternative. They have to get out of this, that they are going to be a national alternative. Once they get out of that, I think they will be a better party.
Okay, just hold your thoughts there. You've said AAP is work in progress and these bunch of people who've got together from all walks of life don't have prior political experience, and which is perhaps why we are seeing them behave that they are. They're behaving like friends fighting out in the open. That's the word coming in from Prabhu Chawla. Sagarika, Ghose, do you agree? And Sagarika, my question really is more broad-based. You know, there was such bickering, such infighting. We've seen resignations pour in the Aam Aadmi Party. We've seen a lot of issues crop up recently. Charges of autocracy have been raised. My question really is that the peace pipe that has been smoked today, where Kumar Vishwas has been retained, made in charge of Rajasthan, is this just perhaps an uneasy truce? Because many of us thought that AAP is at the verge of imploding.
It certainly looks like it's on the verge of imploding, Supriya. I think that's the right word. Implosion is the right word. I think if we look at it, AAP is certainly at the crossroads right now. It is a political startup. It was born out of that activist movement led by Anna Hazare. It was supposed to stand for an alternative political culture. It was supposed to create a completely different political culture. It was supposed to be based on the spirit of voluntarism, citizenship. These were what AAP was supposed to be based on. But now when we see that AAP has faced debacle after debacle, Goa, Punjab and in the MCD as well, although it is the opposition in Punjab and it is the second largest party in the MCD, the fact is AAP is behaving like any other political party. It seems to be coming apart at the seams. There are squabbles. There is no conflict resolution mechanism within the AAP. As you rightly say, AAP has also fallen prey to a high command culture. It is really only the charisma of Mr. Kejriwal and the figure of Mr. Kejriwal which continues to dominate the Aam Aadmi Party. We have not seen a very credible organizational framework come up on the ground. We have not seen new talent join the Aam Aadmi Party. You know, the key to a successful startup is that new talent has to join that startup, but no new talent at the moment is going to the Aam Aadmi Party. Why? Precisely because every time it loses an election, they squabble, they fight, they seem to be at each other's throats. Now we have a situation where Amanatullah Khan has been suspended. Mr. Kumar Vishwas has been made in charge of Rajasthan, but we have to ask, what is the experience of Mr. Kumar Vishwas? He last contested in Amethi where he lost his deposit, so it's not as if he's a seasoned political player himself. So I think what we're seeing in the Aam Aadmi Party is a political startup which simply has not been able to develop an organizational framework, a conflict resolution mechanism, or keep alive that spirit of voluntarism. Remember, voluntarism was key to the AAP. They were all volunteers. They were volunteering for political activity. They were not professional politicians. They were supposedly idealistic people who were engaged in volunteering for political work. Now, where has that spirit gone? The fact is, what we see from this crisis in the AAP is that the Aam Aadmi Party is behaving like just another political party. And it remains to be seen whether this Aam Aadmi Party can then now go on and fight, for example, in Gujarat as they want to do. They want to expand nationally. They want to take on the BJP in Gujarat. They want to take on the BJP nationally. But in this shape, can the Aam Aadmi Party do it? And can the Aam Aadmi's one-point agenda of fighting corruption, the single-point agenda of fighting corruption, fit in all the states that it wants to fight in? For example, we've seen in Punjab, it was actually defeated by the regional Sikh identity.
Yes.
There are very strongly rooted regional identities wherever the AAP wants to go. So can one size fit all?
Right. Sagarika, just hold your thoughts there. Yes. I'm going to come to that in just a bit, whether it can be this pan-national party or not. But Yogendra Yadav, you've been associated with the party, and today I know you want to be a spectator. Prabhu Chawla calls this political inexperience. Sagarika Ghose says this is political voluntarism that's missing. My question to you is, what do you attribute this internal strife within AAP to?
When a ship begins to sink, then desertions happen. To my mind, what we are witnessing in the last 1 week doesn't have much to do with principles. I thought it was power struggle, plain and simple. And no matter what happens in that power struggle, the people lose. What happened 2 years ago was a dispute about principles, because some of us were raising questions when Aam Aadmi party was at its height of power. And those who were raising questions knew that they were risking everything. Today, questions are being raised when the party is at its lowest, is dipping further, and to my mind, this is simply the syndrome of a sinking ship.
So Mr. Yadav, just a very quick follow-up then. Do these battles make the Aam Aadmi party appear like a bunch of inexperienced, ambitious, and may I say power-hungry men? Because this is a battle for power, and like Sagarika and Mr. Chawla are saying here, this is nothing but a quest for power. They are at the end of the day like any other political party, and we're going to come back and discuss what is right or wrong in that. But I'm just asking a simple question, Mr. Yadav. Do these battles, do these public spats make them appear like a bunch of inexperienced, ambitious, power-hungry men?
These are very strong adjectives. I don't know how to respond to this. Inexperienced, yes they are, but inexperience is not necessarily a bad thing. Being fresh is good. Politics is about power in many ways, but about creative use of power. Unfortunately, what we are witnessing is a straightforward power tussle that's taking place. It is about ego, it's about power, it's about spoils of power, but it's about very little else. It's not about principles. And when you look at it, you get a sense that this is no different from what happens in Congress. This is no different from some congressmen rebelling against Rahul Gandhi, no different from what happens in BJP Uttar Pradesh and other places. The only difference probably is, and that is what you can put down to inexperience, that when other parties do it, they know how to cover it up. This bunch doesn't know how to cover it up. That's probably inexperience. But the basic thing is not the cover up. The real problem is that this is no different from other parties.
All right, so Prabhu Chawla, take on this question that Yogendra Yadav just made. They are no different from any other political party. They're very much like the Congress and the BJP. There's a lot of infighting. The battle, the strife is really for the political spoil, so to say. But the question really is that unlike the rest, they do not know how to cover up. So do you believe the Aam Aadmi party is nothing but a mirror image of perhaps the other political parties that are in the fray?
Then once you join the political system, you become like a political party, no doubt about it. Which other political party has been different in the past? Even Janata Party, which was floated after 77, was the same. They collapsed within 2.5 years. But what is different about this particular party? Because this is a party which doesn't rule a full state anywhere in the country, yet we are spending so much time discussing the person and the party. The party which has only 67 MLAs in Delhi, which is a half territory state, and the leader who has not won, who lost in Kashi. Now we are spending so much of space on front pages of newspapers and national channels. Obviously, they have got an idea about which we are all discussing. That idea may not be relevant. I would say they are irrelevant, yet they are so much relevant, they have got the mind space of the nation according to them. We are all discussing about whether the bunch of inexperienced people. What happened to the Congress party? Desertions happened in Congress party much more than the AAP. Look at what AAP is second party in Punjab. 50-year-old Akali Dal were reduced to number 3. Congress, which is 125 years old, were reduced to number 3 in Delhi. What you need to look at the idea, I am not saying that they are inexperienced people, but they have got the people who are working at the down level, middle class people or poor people, they still have faith in them. The kind of constituencies they have won now this time, you should look at them. They have the support of the Aam Aadmi, what they are called for. But they need some kind of a mechanism where they can resolve their internal conflicts. They don't have an ideology at all. What kind of government they want? They always talk about Modi. That is the big problem with them. Because for them, only ideology seems to be that we have to attack Modi for everything. If it doesn't rain, Modi responsible. If it excessively rains, Modi responsible. If Pakistan attacks, Modi responsible. Every time Kejriwal talks about Modi, he doesn't talk about his own governance. That's why his credibility is losing. Because he has become a challenge to certain individuals in the country who themselves wanted to become Kejriwal. But Kejriwal is one Kejriwal. Whether you like it or not, he still got the connect with the people. People still come to see him now, wherever he goes. Here is an idea which has not succeeded as much as it should have. And my feeling is that it should have been, in stage, evolution of AAP should not have been started with a national ambition. It should have started with the Delhi, govern it, make it a model state, then go to the next stage. But they wanted to capture everything. Haryana, Punjab, Goa, wherever they wanted to go. Ultimately, they have collapsed because the energies were wasted. Delhi volunteers were sent to Punjab. Delhi volunteers were sent to everywhere else. Instead of dealing with the Delhi situation, they wasted their energy to the rest of the country. And every leader became a national leader. And their ambition went up. Because if Ashutosh goes to Goa, he thinks he's also another Kejriwal in the making. Sanjay Singh goes to Punjab, he becomes another Kejriwal in the making. Manish Sansodia is already the deputy chief minister. I think he's the chief minister already. So there are people who have got the nationalistic ambitions, all of them. Therefore, they have not been able to accept there is one Kejriwal, whether you like it or not, you have to follow it. So I say they must concentrate on the work. They have done a good work in Delhi school, for example. Education system is one of the best now in Delhi. Schools are very good. Health system has improved. But they can't run because they don't have an idea of a big idea of a governance. They lack it.
Fair point. So just hold your thoughts on that, because I want to throw this to Sagarika. And Sagarika, plenty of points there. They have not been able to capitalize on the mandate that they got in Delhi because they don't have an idea or an ideology how to run a government. They are perhaps a little too obsessed with Mr. Modi, and Mr. Chawla is right. If it doesn't rain, they will perhaps blame the Prime Minister. But my larger question is, what about wasted energies? Did they get too ambitious too soon? They got a stunning mandate in New Delhi. I mean, a 150-year-old party like the Congress was completely pushed out, wiped out of the state where they ruled for 15 long years. The BJP just couldn't make a mark. And what a stunning mandate, perhaps, which is going down the drain. I mean, did AAP get too ambitious too soon? And are we seeing perhaps that bickering on account of those ambitions? I mean, yes, Kejriwal is at the helm of affairs in Delhi, but like he said, is Sanjay Singh a Kejriwal in the making in Punjab? Was Ashutosh one in Goa? And that perhaps wasn't the case. So did they nurture national ambitions a tad too soon?
Very true. I think the 67 seats that they got in Delhi in 2015 really went to their heads. I also think that, at that time, the kind of idea they represented continues to be powerful. It continues to be powerful that citizens want to participate, that citizens want to volunteer, that a new political culture is needed, an alternative political culture is needed. But once they came to power, there was disillusionment after disillusionment. The manner in which Yogendra, Yadav and Prashant Bhushan had to leave the Aam Aadmi Party, for example, was very unpalatable for many Aam Aadmi Party watchers. The manner in which it was done was so brusque, was so, in a way, kind of harsh and violent that it left many feeling, where is that spirit that the Aam Aadmi Party claims to represent? In Punjab, when I covered that election, I certainly saw that there were a whole lot of volunteers who had gone from Delhi to do their Punjab election. But the fact is, you were only 2 years old in Delhi, and yet you went to Punjab and tried to build a party there from scratch in 2 years when you were competing with very established forces like the Congress and the Akali Dal. Now, it's all very well for the Aam Aadmi Party to say that we are the new Congress and the Congress is withering away and we are going to replace the Congress everywhere. But clearly that's not happening, because the Congress may be completely on the back foot and withering away, but it does have, at least more than the Aam Aadmi Party, an organization on the ground, which happened in Punjab. Also, I think the Aam Aadmi Party, as we've been saying, simply has not been able to find an organizational mechanism. There doesn't seem to be a proper organization. It's all Mr. Kejriwal. Mr. Kejriwal was the one promoted in Goa. Mr. Kejriwal was being promoted in Punjab. Mr. Kejriwal's face is going everywhere. The AAP is going to have to invest in local leaderships if it wants to go national, because otherwise it's going to always be defeated by regional forces in the state, as it was in Punjab, where, you know, as you saw, Mr. Amrinder Singh could stand up and take a strong stand on Satluj water sharing, which Mr. Kejriwal could not do because he simply wasn't au fait with the local realities. He didn't know what the local realities there were. So, in a sense, the Aam Aadmi Party was defeated by the strongly rooted regional Amrinder Singh in Punjab. So, the Aam Aadmi Party was certainly way too hasty in trying to have a national footprint. In trying to take on the Modi at every turn. One of their resolutions which they are discussing in their political committee, Supriya, is that they will now take a more pro-India stand. I think that is an extremely telling statement about where they want to go. I think what has happened to them is they've become too associated with activism, too associated with a kind of a, perhaps a kind of an activism which is not mainstream, which is not centrist enough. They were certainly seen in Punjab as to be hand in glove with certain former Khalistan forces. So I think they are now trying to change gear. I think they're trying to move a lot more to the center, and I think they've realized that activism is not going to carry them forward politically. They're going to have to build cadres on the ground locally, attract new talent, contact their volunteers, maintain contact with their volunteers, and above all, shed the high command culture that is around Mr. Kejriwal. Mr. Kejriwal is as much of a high command in the Aam Aadmi Party as the Gandhi family is in the Congress.
So just hold there. Talking about the high command culture, Yogendra Yadav, where does the buck for this entire mess within the Aam Aadmi Party stop? I mean, who owns this bickering? Who owns this chasm that the Aam Aadmi Party is going through? Who would you blame for this debacle, this almost implosion of AAP?
I'm not into blaming persons. Yes, the buck does stop with the Supremo, but like in Congress party, when Congress wins, Rahul Gandhi is credited. When they lose, others have to resign. Similar drama is being played out in Aam Aadmi Party. If they had won, all credit would have gone to the Supremo. Now that they've lost, minions are being asked to resign. This is the usual phenomena. To my mind, the real decline began in 2015 itself, when power at all cost became the driving principle of this party. What we are witnessing is the logical culmination of the decline that set in more than 2 years ago.
That perhaps is the political reality. You need power at all costs. But I'm going to take the discussion away from AAP for just a minute. And Mr. Chawla, I want you to come in on that. Has AAP perhaps lost the terms of existence? Has it lost its reasons why it came into being? I mean, Mr. Modi, for instance, has really championed and owned the anti-corruption crusader tag from Mr. Kejriwal that AAP once stood for. I mean, the whole idea of AAP, or why AAP came into being, was, you know, the Mr. Cleanup man, and that adage seems to be owned by Mr. Modi right now, with the whole demonetization drive, his stance of being, you know, pro-poor, anti-big business right now. In that sense, has AAP lost its terms of existence?
So again, little bit, I would go back to the original thesis. The question arises, Modi has got an experience of 40 years behind him. Kejriwal got only 4 years. He has got a party which is 70-year-old and now 50-year-old as a BJP. So you are looking at, you are looking at apples versus oranges at the moment. But other thing which baffles me, and which is a ridiculous proposition, that you are trying to draw your own parameters, that our party was supposed to win Punjab, AAP was supposed to win every election after Delhi. Is that the yardstick you are proposing, that AAP was to win every election, therefore it has not won, therefore it is a bad party? BJP lost all the elections after winning they got 2 seats in 1980. They lost all the assembly elections. Congress party is losing all the assembly elections. But it's a 4-year-old party you are discussing about it. If they were supposed to win and they have collapsed, therefore it is a big collapse. I'm not able to understand that philosophy here. That what do you expected AAP to do? On what basis? If somebody says AAP was expected to win Punjab, then I am sorry, my 40 years of journalism, I have wasted my time. If somebody expected Goa to be won by them, I am sorry, I will quit journalism. The question is, if we draw our own lines, that we went there, covered it, I also went to Punjab, I also went to Goa, but I never wrote even once that they are going to win. Because these are the things, the hype, that's the point I was making, that he became ambitious. Kejriwal wanted his footprint, his poster, his discussion in every state of the country. He is creating the situation even now. His leaders are also creating the situation. And all the TV channels and newspapers are falling in the trap, making them national heroes by discussing them day in and day out. Prime time discussions, you are having Mr. Kumar being discussed in national channels. What has he done to achieve that? I'm just asking, what are the parameters? Then you expect him to win national election? He lost Amity, as rightly so Sagarika has pointed, he lost the deposit also. First you decide your own thing that he is supposed to become such a year to defeat Modi, since he is not able to defeat even Sheila, some small person, therefore he has failed. This is a jealousy of politicians with each other. I am saying that he is responsible, buck stops at his desk. Modi has acquired the image of a pro-poor, anti-corporate, which you are talking about. The people earlier, they were saying, Soot Boot Ki Sarkar, now Congress has forgotten their slogan. Modi is a politician who knows how to use the media, his words, he is a powerful orator, his work also is speaking, there is no opposition to him at all. So Modi is a powerful communicator, Kejriwal is not. Kejriwal is only playing on negative politics, while Modi is playing on politics, positive politics. From a negative in 2014, Modi was a negative propagandist at that time. Now he's talking about in terms of dharma, in terms of development, in terms of Beti, in terms of Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat. He's talking everything positive. So Kejriwal should have done that only, which he forgot. He derailed himself from the main agenda and went into a political ambitions. In the process, he lost his friends, who wanted to be equally powerful and powerful. They could not get what he didn't give them what they wanted. And in the process, the people are deserting. How many Congress people have left? People don't talk about it. 10 people have left. If at all they have left. Punjab, you have replaced with one party. You have replaced Congress. In corporation, you have replaced the BJP. You are Congress party. You don't give that. But I am saying it is work in progress. Kejriwal is still the cleanest politician we have got around. There is no personal charge against him. But he doesn't have an agenda. He has to get his house in order. That's it.
Fair point.
Don't judge him for what you expect him to do.
I agree with you. I agree there have been desertions in other parties. No, I agree with you. I agree that there have been desertions in other parties that need to be spoken about. But I think the reason why we're spending so much of print space and on-air television space also is that AAP was being projected as this credible opposition. I mean, you know, AAP almost did take the Congress. The Congress almost conceded space to the Aam Aadmi Party, and which is why the discussion. But Sagarika, let me ask you this question, and I'm going to ask you a very blunt question at this stage. I'm running out of time here. So request all of you to be brief on this. You know, the idea or the idea of AAP came into being because the mood of the nation was very anti-corruption, was very anti the scams that were being written about every day, and he almost captured the popular imagination of the people, which is the clean-up drive. Has his politics been too negative after that? I mean, yes, it could have been negative then when the mood of the nation was also one of disgust and one of being very wary with these scams. But the mood of the nation has since changed, and I don't think Mr. Kejriwal has been able to capture that change or that imagination. And is that where he's lost out? Because this negative criticism, this negative politics is clearly not doing any good to him.
Very true, Supriya. It's the same thing that the Congress is doing. Congress also playing negative politics, AAP also playing negative politics. But, you know, on the other hand, I would like to flag that the manner in which the ruling party is going after the Aam Aadmi Party also has to be factored into our discussions, because they have been at the receiving end of a lot of targeting, case after case on their MLAs. They have been at the receiving end of the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. So they have faced a fair amount of pushback from the ruling party as well as from the Delhi Lieutenant Governor. So they have been a little bit pushed on the back foot. Having said that, they have scored self-goal after self-goal. As I said, the idea of AAP is important. The idea of AAP still, I believe, would resonate with people. But the manner in which the party is shaping up, the high command culture, the fact that it's become exactly like any other party, and importantly, that it's talking only a very activist kind of a language, a negative activist kind of a language, I think is going to harm it unless it goes back to the drawing board. You know, let's face it, AAP is the second largest party in Punjab at the moment. It's the second largest party in the Delhi MCD. It didn't contest the Delhi MCD in 2012. So whatever it has is well, it's a fall from 2015 assembly elections, but it has increased its tally in the MCD. So the fact is, the Aam Aadmi Party, I don't think, can be written off. In politics, we never write obituaries of any political party, and we can't possibly write the obituary of AAP, particularly not since it's the opposition in Punjab. But on the other hand, AAP, I believe, has to go back to the drawing board. It has to see what's going wrong. It has to see why it is scoring self-goal after self-goal. It has to see why it's not attracting new talent. You know, I think attracting new talent is actually key. It's a party which should attract new talent. It stands for citizens' movement. It stands for alternative politics.
And that's where the change in the mood of the nation comes in, does it not?
People joining up. I believe that's a problem. Yes, absolutely. The fact that young people or people
I get that point, but
in the political process are no longer joining Aam Aadmi Party shows that it's probably lost out that promise.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.